All right, we'll get started with head coach Oscar Pareja. Oscar, tough loss tonight
Mhm.
as your 2025 season ends. Your thoughts on the match?
Okay. Yeah, frustrating and disappointed just to end up losing in this first game of the playoffs. And we have pain knowing that we could have done much better, but probably the second half um, was an image, was what happened in the last few games that we were fainting a little. We were slowing our level, and Chicago in the second half was much better and and create those three goals that in certain times we could have done better. But the game in the first half was more equal. We didn't have too many actions. They didn't have many either, or just a few intents, but nothing else. But Yeah, disappointed. I thought we could have been better. I still want to show our gratitude to our fans and the people who have supported us during all this period. And today we just feel pain now just to advance in the next stage.
We'll go first to Michael Citro.
Thanks for your time, Oscar. A couple of times in the after the first goal, there were a couple of times where Robin fell down. It looked like he got hurt the second time and was having trouble walking, was having trouble jumping, and even visibly winced when kicking the ball up the field. Was what was he telling you to for you to keep him on the field tonight?
Right, the field didn't help him either. Michael, he was very slippery and heavy. Uh, we were asking him about his pain in the knee. Many times he expressed that he could resist and play normally. But I think two of those three goals in the second half, it was a result of somebody's sliding or something. But with the pain, he finished fine. Obviously, he was playing with some soreness, but nothing else. I haven't here.
We'll go next to Austin David.
Oscar, you kind of talked about just the last couple games and how kind of things have played out. What do you kind of think has kind of led to the way these games have kind of played out for your team?
Well, it's simply I don't think we have been that team that have that energy and compete the whole 90 minutes. We're trying to survive with many difficulties that we have had, but it's something that we needed to resolve, but we couldn't. The adversity with players and injuries, and we trying kind of to overcome, but I could tell you, and I could see in the last two games probably an X-ray about what is happening in the last month, especially.
We'll go next to Mike Gramajo.
Oscar, I'm wondering what the second half was like for you in the sidelines. Chicago started off fast and got that goal early on in the second half, and then the second one came, then the third one came, and obviously forced you guys to really put yourselves in a defensive position. Were you expecting a Chicago team to come out like that in the second half, and did it get you guys a little bit by surprise to see how they started that second half?
Well, when we review the actions, both of those goals, uh, we were in the right positioning. And first one, we slid in, and the defender was trying to cover the ball. And I don't think it was about energy. I thought about, I think it was just an error that we had positionally with our midfielders, but also what somebody slid in there. I thought it was Robin. And the second one, as well, that was that error that we all see. But yes, I felt that it was difficult to overcome those first 10, 15 minutes, but the team ended up just doing it late, but we end up just doing it. Yes.
We'll go next to Alonso Contreras.
Thank you, Rob. Profe, una derrota dolorosa que acaba con la temporada 2025, pero quería preguntarle por qué le costó tanto a Orlando City reaccionar ante la presión de Chicago, que cuando llevan 2-3-0, solamente Orlando tenía 2 tiros al arco, mientras que Chicago tenía casi 20 tiros al arco.
Sí, no, creo que lo dije ahora, yo creo que es una radiografía de este último mes donde hemos tenido tanta adversidad. Nos faltó energía, nos vimos superados en ese segundo tiempo. Al inicio cometimos dos errores, que más que energía fueron dos errores porque veníamos del descanso. Nos superó después Chicago con su energía. Al final alcanzamos a responder un poco. Los muchachos que entraron nos ayudaron, pero ya el juego estaba muy lejos y pues tenemos que decir que Chicago fue muy superior en el segundo tiempo.
We'll go next to Luis Carlos Pineda.
Sí, profesor, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas noches. Quería preguntarle, es la sexta aparición consecutiva en los playoffs bajo su liderazgo, obviamente una eliminación temprana esta vez. ¿En qué área cree usted que el equipo debería priorizar en la quizás pretemporada que se viene para avanzar más profundo el próximo año y qué positivo saca de esto y qué le podría decir a los fans? Muchísimas gracias.
Bueno, Luis Carlos, no, pues mira, gracias por mencionar eso, pero ahora es difícil ver lo positivo que se ha hecho en poder clasificar a los playoffs, porque ya el equipo se ha acostumbrado a pelear en momentos más grandes. Hoy tenemos una desilusión, hoy tenemos dolor, porque creo que en las últimas 3, 4 semanas nos ha dado mucha dificultad reaccionar a las adversidades que nos han pasado. No logramos tener la energía, no logramos tener la respuesta que normalmente nosotros damos. Aún así, yo creo que, y quiero agradecer a los jugadores porque yo veo y he visto el esfuerzo que han tenido, pero realmente cuando uno siente que el rival lo supera, como lo hizo Chicago en el segundo tiempo, pues simplemente lo tiene que admitir. Las zonas de mejora. Creo que vamos a tener un tiempo importante para mirarlas. Ahora necesitamos drenar un poquito el dolor que tenemos porque con nuestros fans salir en esta etapa tan temprana, pues nosotros nos sentimos que quedamos cortos, ¿no? A ellos les pedimos disculpas porque realmente pues ya el equipo está en un estatus donde debe estar peleando cosas mejores. Y salir en esta fase tan temprana, aunque se haya clasificado a los playoffs, pues, se nos deja un dolor importante.
We'll go back to Michael Citro.
Yeah, Oscar, uh, this game looked a lot like the Vancouver game in a lot of ways. It was Orlando just didn't seem to have a plan for, not necessarily a plan, but didn't seem to know how to play through the press, play through the spaces where Chicago was trying to deny them. It did teams find something down the stretch to bother the attacking connections? Do you think?
Right, when you see the games like that and our proposal or our initiative, Michael, uh, it's true that we couldn't achieve, we couldn't do it the way we wanted, and instead the other team find a way under that pressure just to get the ball in the zones that we didn't want it. But I think our game model is there. Maybe the execution was not what we wanted. Maybe have a second plan in some instances today or against Vancouver, and we couldn't perform better. But it's true that similarities on those two games happen. and we couldn't survive. We couldn't be cleaner on getting the ball out. We tried to be probably more simpler and tried to play long balls, but in that way we couldn't either just get some success in that part. So I say to one of your colleagues, and I have to accept it, and especially in the second half, Chicago was much better in the energy, the dynamic, and we couldn't get out of that pressure in this case.
And we'll go last question for Oscar to Mike Gramajo.
Oscar, obviously it's a early playoff exit for you guys. Obviously last year the team was able to make it to the Eastern Conference Final, and then this year obviously you guys mentioned that the expectations were high. Considering everything that happened tonight and how the season ended, I mean, how would you define how this year went for this squad?
Well, not a good day to make a lot of analysis tonight. Uh, we're this is a situation that we didn't plan. I thought the team qualified in the playoffs with a different expectative, so with different goals. The last few games we didn't perform well. We couldn't get out of that mode and just be precise on the reasons at this time is difficult. Promise that we as leaders and the players and coaches and directors will sit down and see what was the root of our problems in this last month, especially. I have to recognize as well that this group during the year, the boys play hard and they actually had one more point than last year. We had 53 and last year 52, but our playoffs were not good. Our level was not in our best phase for sure.